Hi traders, this is Off the Floor Trader. Just wanted to bring you a quick video this weekend, update you on some of the charts that we've been posting over the past week or maybe even 2 weeks. You can see here in gold, we obviously got this, if you haven't been watching, looking at the charts or watching a couple videos I've posted, we had this massive wedge, and this was actually a weekly wedge. I just dropped down to the daily time frame to look at more of the entry style, but for the most part, this was a weekly wedge. And anytime we get a weekly signal setting up, it's going to run for a little while. You see now we are into the beginning of the third week on this, so 2 straight weeks, and see if we can't get any more follow through here. With Mr. Draghi coming out, you can see. Well, let's step back just a minute here. Let's take a look at the entry on this, which was 12:30, and then after the break, of course, we waited for a pause or pullback, and then we took some off at 12:51, knowing Mario Draghi was going to make some announcements on quantitative easing, and this last week, and he did. And we went ahead and took all of our contracts off prior to that, except one, and we were looking for further movement to the upside. We didn't quite get the blowout movement we were looking for, but right now this is showing that it's still pretty bullish up in here. We haven't had any rollover in the market yet. Now, that's not to say it couldn't happen, but we still expect some more upside here. So we'll keep this one contract. If we do get some pullback, we may look at adding some back in here. But right now, we don't have any plans. So what we have done is pulled our stop up with the last one. We do a 2-day trailing stop, which this was Friday, the red candle, and of course the prior day that will go below that at around 1272, and we'll look for more upside. And then our final target will be up here around the 1320 area if we're able to get it. So gold's looking good trade so far, and we will see what happens this coming week. Just a reminder, we do have FOMC this week, and so we'll probably get a Monday, Tuesday, fairly low volume, slow day into the Wednesday announcement. Okay, sorry about that. I had to take a quick phone call. All right, let's go back and take a look at a few more other charts here. Crude oil. I mentioned when I posted my last video, in crude oil here, a lot of people were starting to get bullish here. They thought the bottom was in. Had one guy call the bottom. Listen, the crystal balls are broken. This is a continuous contract. The actual March contract has made new lows tonight, which is Sunday night, while I'm doing this. So it broke new lows and has bounced back a little bit, but this is still a very weak market, and we have no idea where this thing is going. And if we go take a look at on a weekly chart here, let's take a look at here. I mean, we broke down that trend line as I showed you last week on a monthly basis, and it still is going, at this point looking pretty strong to the downside. So I wouldn't be planning on stepping in front of this anytime soon. As we notice, look at some of the patterns here. The last time we made a big move down, which was back in '08, where we fell from 140 and some change down to the 135 and some change area. It took 3 months to find a bottom down here, and here we are, still pretty much solid selling into this monthly candle here. So at this point, I'm not seeing any bottom anytime soon. We will need to see a significant bounce with some volume that comes into this thing, and then we'll look for more of a longer term trade. But right now, if you're doing anything, it would be scalping, and with that, I would keep everything as tight as possible. Let's go over and take a look at the E-mini. We have a setup that just is getting ready to fire off, and we will look at this setup Monday morning after the opening. We had this wide candle back and forth consolidation. I don't know if they're actually if this is a topping pattern yet, or I can't really tell. Could be a minute or very small head and shoulders pattern. I don't like the formation of it. It's not very clear. Of course, not all patterns are clear, but I will say that I think there's more possibility to the upside right now. Of course, above the 2060 area, that would be ideal, but we plan on picking up some positions. If we don't blow out this 2016 level in the Globex session, or excuse me, around the 2016 level, then we will look to buy 30 minutes after the open. We'll look for a signal and look for buy signals to get long. And then if we close above the 2060 area, we will add to that position, looking to take out the highs up here. And that is the plan for the ES. Now with the ES comes the NASDAQ. I think I've mentioned before the NASDAQ is definitely one of our favorite trading products out there. If I can find the NASDAQ here, where'd we go? And it is setting up as well, but we're going to wait for a break on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's just not as clear right now to us, even though you could say there's a little trend that it just broke up here and we're looking for the pullback. On the NASDAQ is a different beast from the ES as far as trading is concerned. So we'd rather see a close above the 42.75, which we've been talking about for a while now. So we wait for that close up above that area, a pause, or maybe even a pull back into the 42.75 area. We'll get long, look for the 43.50, and then of course up above the 4400 area for targets. And then I've had some requests on the euro. Shouldn't we be going long the euro was one of the questions that they asked, and my answer is emphatically no. With Mario Draghi coming out and talking QE as much as he did, and how much they're going to, how much they're going to infuse into the marketplace. I wouldn't be stepping in front of any of this stuff. This is a free fall at this point in time. Yes, it's bouncing. Yes, it's a scalper's market as far as that's concerned. If you've been short in here and yeah, it would be nice. We had this nice trade and we set this up and ran through the whole charts for everybody. They're still in the system, so you can take a look at them. And on this bounce, we were out down on the flat. We were flat on our second target, and then this bounce happened. They blew through this. Yeah, in hindsight, everything's hindsight in the marketplace. In hindsight, you could have taken a short below this most recent low, and this would have been great. But in hindsight's great. Reality's is what it is. It's reality. We didn't catch it. We stayed away from it. We thought it would chop around more, and we were wrong. And that happens in trading. So nothing right now for us in the euro. Again, similar to crude, I want to see some movement with some volume, and then the test of the low to fail, and then we'll look to get long on that deal. And then, of course, sort of a lesson on this. We all know what happened with the Swiss National Bank, and the way they made the announcements. And of course, everybody needs to take a picture of this chart and post it on their wall next to their screens, and just as a reminder what can happen. And this is not just an anomaly. This happens sometimes, on not a regular basis, but it does happen. And if you look, we took out lows, my goodness, in one day that were how far back? Holy cow. Back in, we took out the lows from all of 2014 in one day. So we took out 1 year's worth of gains in one day. And if you were trying to catch this market on the way down, shame on you. You got probably stopped out multiple times and may have lost your count. And two, if you tried to buy, now of course there was a little bounce here, but this is not a game to buy up in here. When it's coming down like this, it's coming down for a reason. You just need to stay out and be patient. There'll be plenty of more trades out there. The number one reason we see for traders that either get blown out or don't make it in this industry is that they get impatient, they make a trade, and then unfortunately that trade turns into, oh, I got to get it back, and they keep doing the same mistake over and over and over again, and their thought process is all messed up. So print this off, guys, and just say, hey, if you weren't in it, you're lucky. I know people are going, wow, look at all the money I could have made, but also, wow, look at all the money I could have lost and how bad that would have felt. So post this on your wall, look at it regularly, and put something on there. Do not catch a knife. It'll help you out. For now, guys, again, Wednesday in the U.S., we have the FOMC meeting. I'm sure they're going to talk something about rates, whether it be a rate hike or they're not going to hike rates for quite some time now. Who knows? No guessing on that deal. If you got positions coming into that, make sure you're either hedged or protected on those positions. We're not expecting fireworks, not like what we were last week with the ECB, but you never know. Obviously, I don't think anybody was expecting the dollar franc to do what it did either. So we'll go from there. I hope everybody has a great trading week, and we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.